Hey guys, how's it going? Just checking in here with you guys. I wanted to show you a virtual field trip that myself and my daughter went on yesterday. We went to Iroquois Wildlife Refuge, and I am embarrassed to admit that I have never visited the Iroquois Wildlife Refuge in the 20 years I've been teaching in Medina. And at the end of this trip, I was super upset with myself because it is an unbelievable place to look at uh, biological organisms and be around nature. It's just a cool place. The way you get to the refuge, if you travel from the high school up here, you travel down Route 63 and you pass the swamp. And when you get down here, you take a right onto Casey Road. There's a sign here for the refuge. And this is the main office of the refuge. It's closed right now, but you take a right on Casey Road, take another right on 77. And we parked here to visit this place called the Canu Trail. The Canu Trail is nicknamed that by the Native Americans. It means nature trail. At any rate, myself and my daughter, we took a walk up this feeder road here, which I believe used to be a canal, and we viewed some birds at the Cayuga Pool over on this portion of the park. And we saw a ton of Canada geese. There's a bunch of them. This is definitely the most abundant bird in the refuge. We also saw some herring gulls, which just you guys, we would just generally call them seagulls. There are some there. And one of the coolest birds we saw was the great blue heron. And its scientific name is Ardea herodias. Ardea is the genus of herons. So this word means heron. This one is Latin for heron. This is Greek. These are just unbelievable looking birds, and you got to use your binoculars in order to really get a good view because they are skittish. I have some Bushnell binoculars that multiply the image by 12 times, so 12x binoculars, which are really helpful for birding. They're relatively inexpensive, maybe $30, but they really were nice in viewing the blue heron. We also saw some American robins and red-winged blackbirds. My daughter was really into these because they have these really nice looking red and yellow wings here. And this is the Greek word here, agelius. That's the Greek word for social, being social or gregarious. And then this species name, this is the genus name, this is the species name, is reminiscent of the phoenix. And the phoenix was this mythological bird that couldn't die, and essentially it would die in a fit of flames and then regenerate itself. So the phoenix reminded the red-winged blackbird reminded the person that named this bird after the phoenix because of the flames and the brilliant red and yellow wings of the red-winged blackbird. Plus, one of my favorite birds, due to one of my favorite baseball teams, the Rochester Red Wings. Here's the mallard duck. You guys, just plain old duck. The Latin word for duck is anis, which you see here. And this word, platyrhynchus, which means flat snout. So the flat snout duck. Then we headed here through the Canu Nature Trail and overlooked the Mohawk Pool. And there was a bunch of cool plants that we saw. This one is called Lycopodium obscurum. This is a club boss. It's a very primitive vascular plant, a plant with veins, one of the first to exist. And at the top here is the spores or the seeds. If you remember the flamethrower experiment that I did in the Days of Cool, those are the spores that you can use. You can light those on fire. There's a lot of American beech in this region on this trail, on this nature trail. This is the bark of the American beech and the leaves. And this time of year, the leaves are all on the ground. So you can see the remnants of the previous year's leaves dropping. has a unique ability to digest wood, or a lot of plants. A lot of animals can't digest wood. Fungus does a pretty good job. There's a lot of ash trees in this region, and they've been killed off by the emerald ash borer. So there's a lot of wood that's being consumed by fungus. Fungi, I should say, are really good at digesting wood. So there's a bunch of cool looking fungus in this trail. There's eastern hemlock, which we studied previously, and sugar maples. Hey guys, how's it going? This is me. This is Maris. Say hi, Maris.
Hi.
We're taking a little field trip here. We are in the Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge. And if you look out there, we are watching right next to that Canada goose there. It's a great blue heron. It's a great place for bird watching. You've seen a bunch of cool.
And deer watching.
We're looking for some deer too. But we just thought we'd share that with you. The great blue heron and the Canada goose being friends out there. It's pretty neat. There's a nice overlook there on the trail that lets you look out at the Mohawk Pool. And this is where I saw a bunch of cool looking ducks. The ones I got closest were the green-winged teals. Pretty awesome little green heads that they have. And I thought I saw some American widgeon. They were really far out, but I did see some ducks with blue beaks. And I thought that I saw a nice little white head on some of these green background American widgeons. Another bird that I think I saw, and these again very far away, was the hooded merganser, and this is a diving duck. Their Greek genus name means crested diver, and those are pretty cool looking. So after we got done on the Canyu Trail, we headed over here to the Cayuga Pool Overlook, right about here, and this is where the eagles hang out. Hey folks, what's up? I wanted to show you some interesting video here. This is from the Cayuga Overlook in Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge. Hey guys, we're at the overlook out here. And if you look off in the distance, that's where the bald eagle's nest is. There's a bunch of cool ducks out there. I'm having a tough time sneaking up to them to identify them. They're a little too far away, but they look pretty neat. So, unfortunately, I didn't see any eagles, but Mr. Hack's been down there, and he said that there's eagles all the time, and I just must have missed them. One bird I did see from that overlook is the cormorants, and these are pretty conspicuous because they sit so low in the water, and their just heads are sticking up like that. Here's the bald eagle. I love its species name, Leucocephalus whitehead. We got done with the overlook and we traveled up here to the schoolhouse marsh. We didn't get to this part of the park. I need to go back and check it out. But the schoolhouse marsh right here has an overlook, and this is where we found our coolest bird, in my opinion. All right, so this is definitely the highlight of our birding expedition here. Out there is a great egret, and I can see it with my binoculars, and it's just beautiful. It's pretty neat. We're at the schoolhouse marsh. Now we gotta go. Maris is a little tired there. So you can see this is the great egret. It's in the same genus as the heron, and you can see it has a very similar body type. So heron alba means white in Latin. So we could see why the scientists have named it Ardea alba. But just this was awesome checking it out. And like I said, you really got to get binoculars out in order to really appreciate it. On the way out, we saw a wild turkey. This is a hen. It was pretty awesome. So Maris was psyched about that. Next time, I'm looking for this guy. This is called a promontory warbler. I'm excited. This is a very rare find. I want to try and find this guy. And I heard that in the summertime, there's a lot of northern shovelers. And I really like this guy because he's a cool looking bird, but also I like his genus name, spatula, which means spoon or little spatula. So I thought I'm excited about trying to revisit this place and view it again. Anyway, great natural resource, really cool place to spend some time and get to know nature. Hope you travel out there and use your resources, maintaining social distance, of course.